Before any of you ask about Daughter of Discord or anything remotely related to Daughter of Discord, give me a chance to explain why I was not able to release episode 6 when I wanted to release it, and that was before February. And it's February now. Let me explain why. You see, with every episode, we've got a process. I write a script, I send the script to the voice actors, they record their lines and give them to me. That is done. I take those lines, I edit them in the proper order until they make a complete audio file. That is done. I divide the script into various scenes, which I send to artists for them to draw, and that is all done. Then I put the audio and the pictures together into one video. And that is done. But there is one last final piece, and a very important one at that. Music. And all the music in Daughter of Discord is done by one person, Truesailorcomet. Well, she does all the music except for the opening theme. But yes, she composes all of it by herself. Every 20 to 45 minutes of it, she composes that. And mind you, she is a very hard worker, and I admire her tenacity for being able to get it all done. But unfortunately, on the last week of January, before she could finish all of her compositions, she fell ill. And that is not her fault, alright? She is sick right now. She has vertigo, which makes her very dizzy. And the medication she takes, it puts her to sleep for several hours. And obviously you cannot compose music while you're asleep. So, because she is my friend and I care about her, I am not going to push her to finishing everything so fast. Because she is not feeling very well and is in no condition to be working like a dog. No offense to dogs. So, I'm sorry if I care about my crew members' well-being. I'm sorry that I am not a sadist. I'm sorry that we are not machines that can simply work 24/7. Alright? This was an unprecedented event. I did not lie. I really thought we would have the episode out before January ended. But unforeseen circumstances have prevented us from doing that. Alright? Are we in the clear? Okay? Now that I've got that all off my chest. So, yeah. Truesailorcomet is working on the music. Like, despite my protest, she insists on working on it anyway, even though she's not feeling very well. But at a slower pace than she usually does it. So, I cannot say for sure when episode 6 will be complete. Like, unless you want the episode without music at all. I mean, you can't have it that way. It would just be kind of boring. I mean, face it, there are bits where you just need some dramatic or emotional or scary music. So I feel bad about True working like this when she is not in the best of sorts. So I am hoping to cheer her up a little by reacting to her latest addition to her own audio series, what was it? I always forget the order. It's The Apprentice, The Student, and The Charlatan. Episode 3, Meet the Parents. Yeah, I've been holding off on reacting to this because, well, one, I was putting the finishing touches on what I can for episode 6 and top of doing my homework for class. Okay, but since you're not feeling well, I thought I should probably do this now just to cheer you up a bit. Okay. And those of you who haven't watched this series, I suggest going to that first and not watching the commentary first. I'm really embarrassed when my commentaries get more views than the actual video. That's just wrong, okay? And yes, I'm going to be talking over this because this is a commentary. This is not my video. This is Truesailorcomet's video. I'm just watching it. I am commentating on it. Alright? Sorry. I'm just so rattled by everybody. Okay, well, I'm going to pull this up. And, okay, start from the beginning. Okay. Alright, so. 3, 2, 1. Play. Minor language used a little in this episode. Viewer discretion is advised. Yeah, that means you two kids.
On the Apprentice, the Student, and the Charlatan.
Yeah.
Just had these nightmares lately.
Good, because it's a while since I've seen this.
This old stone temple-looking ruin in the Everfree Forest.
You and I are having the same dreams. You and I are the Knight Apprentice and the Faithful Student. There's no way this could be a coincidence. These dreams must be magically induced.
How much sleep are you getting?
I'm getting plenty! Why does this keep happening to me? You know that induced dreams are the product of an immensely powerful spellcaster, don't you? Twilight Sparkle has some explaining to do, and Trixie vows that she would answer for this, and for humiliating her twice!
Why the alleys?
Because there are certain ponies I don't want to run into while I'm here.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Aegis?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Who's he?
Friend of mine from when I lived here.
I'm sure if you just asked me to tell them or something, they'd leave you alone when you visit the city.
Aegis, they came after me in Manhattan. How do I look?
Like an undernourished god.
Something wrong?
No, ma'am, but the sky has eyes.
Excuse me, please.
Yes, sir?
My job is just to find and keep an eye on you, not drag you back.
I suppose if all you're going to do is keep an eye on me, I can deal with it. But I don't want any of the others he sent coming after me.
Fair enough.
Stupid hard-headed Pegasus.
What are you doing?
Sending him back a few hours.
The next departure doesn't leave until tomorrow morning, meaning you're stuck in town for the night.
Figures. Where is Princess Luna?
Preparing the room we will be using to compare yours and Twilight's progress in your education.
I
How did I
keep
get
hearing
that?
Chrysalis every time you
1
do
minute in front of the
Celestia, True.
statue
I'm
of
sorry.
Discord, and the next thing I know, I'm in the bush staring through that window with no clue how I got there.
Is there something wrong?
Yes, ma'am. We have a serious problem.
Yeah. Man, it's been a real long time since I've watched the last episode. So sorry if I forget a few things, True. It's fine. I saw the to be announced thing. You know, if you're not sure who's going to play someone and, you know, you don't have them in this particular episode, you could just hold off on that. About the only person I know who puts all the voice actors of the series in the intro, even when they're not in the particular episode. Oh, I saw Skypaw. She's Twilight's mom. Yeah, I know. Like, turning performance major. Lots of people I've either encountered on Skype or like at BronyCon, or I've seen their auditions. Yeah, and you can see she's got other things to worry about, not just composing for my series. She's putting her whole series together. I swear, you work more than I do. That's not right. Episode 3, Meet the Parents.
I see. Is that everything you have to report?
Yes, ma'am.
I hear Chrysalis
Very
without the echo.
Good
Ugh.
work, Corporal. You may return to your post.
No, ma'am. I came as soon as I was relieved. I'm finished for the day. And as Nova is my friend, I'd very much like to help him out of this little conundrum.
How does he need help?
The Pegasus finding him this morning and Sergeant Shieldbreaker, I believe, being possessed, both happened in a location Nova was expected to go. Granted, Nova was in disguise for the first encounter, but the Pegasus was able to see through it. Nova has a routine while he's here, and if he wants to avoid trouble with those after him, it would be best if he did something a little differently than he usually does. As such, I believe Railside Inn should be avoided.
Seems I need to vary my routine here a little more than I have been.
I don't see a problem with this. Canterlot Castle has more than enough rooms for him and plenty of...
No.
Why not?
Now, Luna. I'm sure he meant no offense. But Nova, do explain your reasoning for why Canterlot Castle isn't your preferred place of lodging for the night.
It's simple, really. The Pegasus that found me today is definitely searching for me. The pony that went possibly possessed the sergeant in the gardens. We don't know who he was looking for.
Yep, I
It could be any of
recognize
us.
your
If it's someone other
style
than me,
music,
that
True.
theoretically puts us in twice the danger you'd be in if I were somewhere else.
So, you're saying your reasoning for not staying in the castle is to reduce the danger we could all be in? How selfless of you, Nova.
Even so, regardless of that hypothetical danger it would put us in, you are still within the headquarters for the equestrian military.
Of course, you
No
could do
pony would dare make a move
Celestia!
against
Oh
this
my
bastion.
gosh, you could totally
you
help
could
me
do
with the
anyone
comic
who's
dub.
leaving
You're
us.
gonna. Yeah.
Please don't
I'll
remind me of
talk
the
about it
single
with
most
you when
embarrassing defeat
your
in the
window's
equestrian
more open.
history.
But if you cannot stay at Railside Inn, and you refuse to stay at Canterlot Castle, where can you stay?
My parents' house.
That seems like a good idea.
That depends. How far from Novus Manor is it?
On the other side of the Canterlot Business District, and it is also within reasonable distance to the train station.
Reasonable distance relative to you, anyway.
Don't worry about him doing this.
What do you mean?
He likes to try to find ways to tear down solutions. Not that he doesn't like it, but if he can't come up with a good argument, it's a good solution.
Fine. I'll go with Twilight.
I guess that settles it. Oh, and Nova? We're not taking the alleys this time. We're taking the main roads where we'll be less conspicuous by blending in.
Get going, you. Your mare friend awaits.
I'm a mare friend.
Mare, it's not my mare friend. Yeah, right. That's what they all say.
So, you said you'd tell me later how you knew that Pegasus was following us?
So I did. Well, do you know of energy sensing?
I've heard of it. Never took the time to learn how.
It takes some
Was that
time,
keyframe
which
the
you'd
top of
rather spend
keyframe
learning how to
Zosie's
cast
head?
spells,
What?
I assume.
Pretty much.
Well, energy casting is just that.
Wait,
Sensing the energy
wait,
of
wait. I think I
Seeing
just
as how
saw
you and I
Kel
both know that
and
everything generates energy,
I mean
which allows me
Z
to
or
sense things within a certain
whatever you
radius.
go by these days,
Just like the
and
inheritance
Brony
spells.
Monster.
Oh, you read Aragon?
Well,
great.
duh.
I've been talking
I
over
read
this.
everything except the Twilight Saga. I wouldn't use those novels as paperweights.
Ah!
Yes.
Funny.
Well, yeah. Kind of like inheritance. Can't extend my mind or anything, but if it generates energy, most of the time I can sense it. There are things that are too small, and if someone casts too powerful of a spell nearby, it kind of overloads me for a bit.
So how did you know that Pegasus was following us?
The other Pegasi in the sky were flying faster.
Oh.
He was going exactly our speed, and he was staying right above us, only slightly behind.
Interesting. Well, if you'll follow me, I'll lead you right to my parents' house. I'm home.
Twilight? You didn't tell us you were going to be into... who's your friend, Twilight?
Mom,
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
is Nova
Skypaw.
Shine. He's Princess Luna's Knight Apprentice. He needed a place to spend the night, and I thought we could lend him Shiny's room.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Sparkle.
Where's Dad?
Up in his room. Dinner's almost ready, and you're most welcome to join us, Nova. And please, do call me Velvet.
Come on, I'll show you to your room.
Lightning Dash, your girlfriend's here.
Nova Shine?
Twilight, your father and I need to talk. Alone.
Are you sure?
Yes. You can show me to my room later. How do you know who I am? He didn't hire you, did he?
Relax, Nova. Princess Luna told me all about how touchy you were when it came to the subject. To see you in person, though.
You know Princess Luna?
Let's start over, shall we? I'm Nightlight Sparkle, current head of the Sparkle Clan and the Canterlot Castle Director of Staff.
And you are?
Canterlot Castle Director of Staff?
What?
Nice to meet you, Canterlot Castle. Or should I call you Director of Staff?
Oh, you're definitely Twilight's father. I don't think I've ever heard a dad joke that bad from any other dad I've met.
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
dad
I do
jokes.
try. But to
It's like
answer
my
your
dad.
question,
I
know
always-
who you are
I would
because
always tell him,
interact
"You're
with
silly," and he
princesses
said,
almost every day.
It's
It would
because
have
I'm a
been
dad. It's
impossible
my
to
job.
not know you were the Knight Apprentice, and even more so not to hear of your, incident.
I see. Velvet said she didn't know Twilight was in town. Did you not know of our little examination today? If you interacted with the princesses as much as you say you do, you should have known.
We thought Twilight wouldn't be spending the night. However, emergency train problems happened according to the coordinator. I was informed only an hour before you arrived, and I got home right before you two did.
Emergency train
I'm sorry,
problems
but
on the
this
day
is
I
a
happened to
big
come to the city.
information bomb.
Relax. I'm
Here.
sure it's nothing.
Your daughter and I were accosted by a bounty hunter this morning.
What?
But that's fine. Relax. I'm sure it was nothing.
Did they?
No, neither of us suffered any harm. But it can't be a coincidence that on the day the trains stop and keep us in town overnight, we get accosted by a bounty hunter. Not to mention the stir-up at the castle I'm sure you heard about.
Yes, I did hear about that. Curious.
Not as curious as your daughter, who has been listening in on our conversation the whole time. She really likes knowing what's going on, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. But listen, Nova. I know about you and your situation. And allow me to say right now, if I ever find out my daughter came to harm and you had something to do with it, there will be no place in Equestria you can hide from me. And so
Wow.
help me, Celestia.
So
You will
dark.
pay for it.
You needn't strain yourself. I've avoided a pony trying to hunt me
You
down for 10
will
years.
pay.
Even though a bounty hunter found me today, I've made sure he's been set back several hours.
My promise still stands. But you've done nothing wrong tonight. Dinner's almost ready. Let's go relax in a more lighthearted environment, shall we?
Yeah, I love that dad threat. Like, if you ever hurt my daughter. That's a pretty house.
I'm not going to be happy.
Ugh. Nope.
Good evening. Not sure if you remember me, but...
Sharp-Eye, that is your name, yes?
Oh, yes. I believe your husband may be expecting me.
Yes, I think he is. Follow me then. I take it you bring good news then?
Good and bad. But I'll elaborate more when I speak to both of you and Ray.
Very well. If you follow me. Ray?
And I was just getting to the good part, Shimmer. Sharp-Eye.
Ray and
I must
Shimmer.
admit, I didn't expect to see you here this evening.
You as well, sir.
I trust you bring news on our son?
Good and bad.
Well, let's start with the good news first.
I've managed to find your son. I found him today in Canterlot as he made his way to Canterlot Castle with the Royal Guard and a unicorn mare.
Twilight Sparkle. Yes, he was taking a sort of examination with the castle today.
Yes, well, I lost him.
Excuse me?
I said I lost him. I was talking with him in an alleyway when that Royal Guard hit me with something and knocked me out. I woke up locked in a dumpster and had to wait for the street cleaning crews to let me out.
You spoke to him?
Well, yes. He disguised himself as a Royal Guard and I confronted him and...
Bet he took that well.
You fool! After he spent the last 10 years running, do you really think that running right up to him and trying to convince him to come back would work?
So meet these
I
parents
guess I wasn't
too.
thinking clearly at the time.
No, clearly you weren't. But still, it is good to know that my son is in good health. Sharp-Eye, if you'll follow me, I have your payment ready.
Sir? I don't understand. Your contract was to...
The contract was only to find Nova, and you did. You needn't fear losing him again. The trains have stopped for the evening, leaving him stranded here in Canterlot. You will undoubtedly be on the first train back to wherever he lives, and you can simply follow him from there.
Is that wise? If he sees me,
He won't. You must make sure of that, Sharp-Eye. I'm counting on you.
Hang on. If you're paying me now, that renders our contract complete. Meaning I don't have to go through with this.
Which is why I'm offering you a new one, but we'll discuss that more in my office.
If you say so.
I'm like, yeah, I was like, why would you pay him before the job's finished, technically?
Your payment of 10,000. Now, I say we would be offering you a new contract.
Yes. Over 9 years of searching and 10,000's all I get?
I am prepared to offer you a weekly sum of 10,000 bits.
Wait, they have computers?
To follow and to keep an eye on Nova.
What?
You heard me right. 10,000 a week. If you will simply tail Nova and let me know if anything's happening to him.
Well, I'd be a fool not to take that one.
Those eyes!
More foolish than I have been in the past.
back when I was young and foolish. Nevertheless, thank you, Sharp Eye. You have no idea what this means to me.
You're most welcome. There's a really funny story how I ran into him today.
Oh? Do tell.
Pretty sure it was entirely dumb luck. I'd literally just gotten off the train after I heard that man Twilight Sparkle say the word Nova. I'd just gotten off a different contract at the time, but I remembered the name. So I followed him from the air. After that, well, you kinda know the rest.
That you're meeting with Nova's luck, I highly doubt.
Sir, I promise, I have nothing to hide.
No, I believe you. I believe you think it was luck, but take it from a researcher of magic. In all of my many years of studying the arcane, never once did I ever find any evidence to justify the existence of luck.
How do you mean?
Equestria is a land overflowing with magic. Love magic in the Crystal Empire, the magics of friendship, the day, the night, and so on. And these different magic forces have guided the fate of this land. The fires of friendship, the elements of harmony, and so forth as well. I believe you were led to Nova for a reason. What that reason is, I cannot say, but a reason nonetheless.
Had that random moment where I'd heard the name Nova as I exited the train not been random at all?
Well, our business is concluded, and I'm hungry. You're welcome to spend the night at the house, but thanks to a few bits sent the way of the train coordinator, I made sure the next train out of Canterlot is set for 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome. Now let's get to the dining room, shall we? I wonder what's for dinner.
Wow. Mrs. Sparkle is the single best cook I've ever known. It would definitely be worth it to marry Twilight just to experience this every so often.
What?
Like any more, Nova?
Really?
No thank you, Mr. Sparkle.
Call me Nightlight. It's my name. Might as well use it.
That was nothing short of excellent, Mrs. Sparkle.
What did I tell you? Call me Velvet. And
Wait,
thank you,
I'm
dear.
sorry. Did he
I
call the
always
dad
appreciate
Mrs.
what you've
Sparkle?
enjoyed.
Does that go for me too, Velvet?
Well, if you're gonna call her that, I guess it's completely alright if we call you Twinkle Sparky.
Dad!
If you're not gonna call her Mom, isn't it only fair if we break out the baby nicknames?
So, Nova, how does it feel to be the first cult friend Twilight's ever brought home?
Dad! He's not my cult friend. We're just fellow students of the princesses.
Sure, darling, whatever you say. But Shining Armor had the same goofy look on his face every time he looked at Cadence. And look where they ended up.
Oh, and Nova, just want you to know, I have a Black Hesa Industries magic gun up in my closet, and if you hurt my daughter...
Oh my god!
Well, I have to be up early to be at the castle tomorrow. Good night, Nova, Twilight.
Yeah,
I'll join you,
Jesus.
dear. Let me get all this cleaned up.
Jesus, dude, is like...
Nice book. Might be able to read it better if it were right side up. The book just happened.
Watch your mouth while you're in here.
Yes, ma'am.
That was the language you were worried about?
Get your flank up there and talk to her.
Ow! What did I do?
You stallions are just so damn thick sometimes. She wanted to talk to you on her own without me or Knight. You may not have thought that was the warmest way to say that, but I'd be a poor mother if I hadn't seen her do that whenever she wanted Shining or Cadence to talk with her on their own and make that connection.
What?
Alright, I'll go.
What? I don't know idea what just happened.
Well, let's try this one.
What? Was that
I'm on the pot here!
Oh my god.
Nope. Well, that was unexpected.
Is that a doll under the rug?
Yes?
Wait, what does it matter? I mean...
Want to talk about our feelings like pathetic, sappy, touchy-feely ponies do?
What do you want?
Well, your mother told me to come talk to you.
Oh, that is just so like her. I come up here to calm down and read in peace, and she sends... Fine. Come on in.
Nice room.
What? Seriously, dude?
Put those back.
Make me.
Fine. I'll get them later.
And I'll get you to get out of your book and actually talk to me. So tell me, Twilight, what's it like studying under Celestia?
Why do you want to talk so badly?
Call it a litmus test.
litmus test?
Exactly. Quick question,
Man,
actually.
that
Do you
face.
happen to know a place in Ponyville that rents rooms for a low price that's not an inn?
Not really, no. I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind letting some ponies sleep in my basement if they paid rent every day, but...
How much?
I don't know, 75 bits, maybe?
How about a monthly fee?
Nova, are you seriously asking to move in with me? You have your own very expensive-looking house.
I'll tell you more tomorrow on the train ride home. Still working out the details.
The details of what?
Tomorrow. Don't quite have it all figured out, but I have an idea. Just need to sleep on it some.
Oh.
So, really, what is it like studying under Princess Celestia?
I could ask you the same thing about studying under Princess Luna. I've gotten to talk with her a couple of times, and I even got the chance to show her around Ponyville on Nightmare Night, but I've never really gotten to know her.
Oh yeah, she told me about that. Told me she spent the entire evening gobbling the backsides of little foals.
Well, you could say that. There's a colt in our town from Trottingham by the name of Pipsqueak. Fell into an apple bobbing tub, and Luna tried to rescue him by snagging his shorts. Pinky and Pip then proceeded to lead the town foals in a mass panic.
Yeah, I remember that. Tried to turn it into a get out and enjoy yourself lecture.
I know the feeling. Princess Celestia used to do that all the time.
Speaking of...
Oh, yes. Well, studying under her is strange. I mean, you'd expect the pony who knows the most about you to be you, right? Well, for me, she knows more about me than I think even my parents or I do.
Can't imagine how that must work. Luna is still working to get to know me. Doesn't quite have a firm handle on what I'm good at, what I'm like, and so on. Like this one time, she sent me some books on alchemistic magic. Also, she could teach me a lesson in unbending my pride enough to ask for help.
You're learning alchemy? Mrs. Leslie and I haven't even touched on the magical implications of the subject yet.
No, I'm not. Couldn't decipher a word of the textbook she sent me. Frankly, I don't
Man,
think
that
I'm anywhere
Twilight
near
voice
casting
actress
alchemist
reminds me
spells.
of Ruby
Still
from
very behind
Ruby!
in spellcasting ability.
What do you mean? How can you be behind? You were able to do everything I was able to do at the test today.
Oh yes, I could. But that doesn't mean I could do it smoothly.
I don't understand.
Look, Twilight, do you think we're on the same level of spellcasting?
Well, yes, we're supposed to be.
But we're not. I've been educated and I've been taught spells, but despite all of that, I'm practically rubbish at spellcasting.
Don't say that. No, you're not. You performed very well today.
Oh yes, today I did. But in the past, I've always had trouble focusing my mind enough to cast some of the more advanced spells. How the bloody hell is she not getting this? Do you need me to put it in magic kindergarten terms for you? You are better at magic than me. Twilight is greater than Nova. I can decipher the spell's magical language very well, but I can't cast a bleeding...
Shouldn't have told me that.
What'd she do?
Nova, trust me, I understand how you feel.
Really? The mayor who spent all her time indoors studying and performing high-level magic has an idea how it feels to not be able to properly indulge in one special talent?
Seriously, Nova. Before I met my friends, casting magic wasn't as easy as it is now. But when I started to study friendship in Ponyville, I grew stronger and stronger at a much faster rate than I did before.
Yay!
It just took me finding that little niche, so to speak. Every pony has theirs, even you. You just need to find yours, and I know you'll make a powerful spellcaster.
High praise, Twilight Sparkle. Thank you for it. Well, I'm off to bed. Thanks for the encouragement.
Anytime.
Good night, Twilight.
Good night to you too, Nova.
What a day.
Yes, today has been something. Little did either of us expect Nova to show up here. Knight, don't you find that ironic?
Yes, Val, I think I do. The two of them do seem to have a certain something between them already.
Don't want to call it chemistry, but it's impossible to deny that there's something there, considering the look she was giving him.
We thought it was going to be Glimmer and Shining Armor ending up together, only to find out now that it might be Nova and Twilight. But, oh Knight, what are we going to do?
What do you mean, Val?
He's bound to find out sooner or later that Nova spent the night here. How do you think he'll react? And what if Nova stays here again in the future? Will he come calling?
I'll talk with Ray tomorrow. He and I need to have a word after the commotion in the marketplace and the incident at the castle today.
What if he demands to see Nova in the future? You know how he might be after the cult left. Tantalus...
We won't let him. Regardless of who is chasing him, Nova Shine is our guest. And
Do you hear
he's
Tantalus?
Twilight's friend. And truth be told, I think he's a good stallion. I trust him. So long as he is under our roof, he should not and will not have to fear us betraying his trust.
Yet you threatened him with
Well,
guns.
since we both seem to agree, I think it's time for bed, Val.
I agree. It has been a tiring day. Good night, honey.
Good night, dear.
Ooh, this thing. What? What? This feels like The Ring or something. Sheesh. Now that was interesting.
Great. Yet another one. And it seems like it's going to be one of those days. Nope. Wow, you look as bad as I feel. I mean,
It's fine. I know what you meant.
you were having a nightmare.
About a ruined building in the Everfree Forest. Yes.
With a glass vial, right?
Yeah.
It glowed and then it flashed red?
What? Is that shining through?
You both can finish each other's sentences.
Ah!
For each other. Now, is one of you going to use the shower, or are you just going to stand here and block the hall all day?
I get the shower. Oh, I saw a picture shining with the lightsaber. Parents meet parents.
Right, what can I do for...
Whoa.
What the hell are you doing?
Your bounty hunter accosted my daughter yesterday.
If you'll let me down...
You'd better give me a good reason why
He didn't have one, and it wasn't your daughter he accosted. It was my son. Your daughter just happened to be with him at the time.
Explain.
Aren't you supposed to be at work up at the castle?
Lunch break. Now explain!
Alright. Come with me.
Like lunch break. Now explain!
I spoke to Shop Boy last night about it when he came to let us know what had happened. He told me he had confronted my son, who was traveling in disguise as a royal guard that was supposed to be a part of your daughter's escort to the castle.
If he was in disguise, how did he know?
As best I can tell, he flew up above the scene and saw it, so he followed them until he thought he had a good opportunity to confront Nova.
Sorry, I have the hankering to chew gum.
But Aegis, the actual god of the scene, knocked him unconscious, allowing them to escape.
And now he's searching again? If he so much as talks to my daughter without her permission, Ray...
He's already found him again, Knight. And all he's doing now is just keeping an eye on Nova, telling him from a distance, making sure he doesn't go and do anything stupid.
How could he have found him again? You said he was knocked unconscious.
Because there's only one train out of Canterlot today, and they still haven't reopened the path down the mountain. It's been 5 months since Trixie Lulamoon took that little spill in her wagon, and they still haven't determined what caused it. And you know they're not going to reopen it until they find out what it is.
Oh, Ray, don't tell me.
You had something to do with the trains being stopped for the evening yesterday, didn't you? And you were the one responsible for possessing the pony in the castle grounds, weren't you? Weren't you?
I did, yes. I had to see my son, Knight. And as for the trains, it was simply a little bit of a bribe to pay for some rescheduling. Nothing harmful to any pony.
I don't think I need to tell you what happened the last time one of us bribed some pony for something we thought was harmless.
What?
Me and Tantalus used to be the best of friends, Ray. And then ever since the incident at the school, we're all drawn into stupid little confrontations like this.
Confrontations.
I'm sorry, Ray. I do wish you and him would patch things up, but I don't think this is going to help.
How did you know it was my bounty hunter?
As I said earlier, Nova was traveling with Twilight to Canterlot Castle, and in the wake of the hunter's encounter and the guard at the castle, Nova needed a place to stay. Twilight brought him home with her, and we let him spend the night. And we will continue to offer him our roof and Shining Armor's bed in the future. And Ray, we will not be telling you when he is staying with us. Is that understood?
Completely. I completely understand, old friend. If I knew he was staying at your home, I know my wife would probably try to beat down a door just to see him. For what it's worth, Knight, I am sorry about Sharp Eye accosting Twilight. I'll send him a letter telling him not to go anywhere near the filly, if that will satisfy you.
It should. But it had better be a more thoroughly worded order than that.
It will.
Yeah.
You have my word.
Very well.
Man, I'm loving
My
Nightlight here.
promise still stands, though. If your bounty hunter so much as talks to Twilight without her permission, there will be hell to pay.
There more? Ah. We're on the train.
Ready?
Ready.
What? What was that?
So, last night you said that your little conversation with me was and I quote, litmus test? Care to elaborate?
Ah, yes. I asked you if you'd be charging rent if I were to stay at your library for a while. Well, perhaps I should start at the beginning.
The beginning?
Yes, the nightmares we've been having.
What about them?
What if I were to say that we would work together to find the source of these nightmares and put an end to them?
I would say that is a good idea, but that I wouldn't know a way to work together while we're both too busy learning from our teachers.
Aren't you studying on your own? If I recall, you're actually working a full-time job and studying in your off time.
Well, yes, that is true. Though I learn about the magic of friendship every time I interact with my friends. What about you? Don't you have a job?
Nope. Magical mercenary, remember?
Oh, right.
That means I could simply do magic-oriented jobs around town, make enough money to pay whatever rent you impose, help chip in for any food I eat, and in my off time, I could spend more time searching for a way to end these nightmares of ours.
I guess that explains magical mercenary. That explains.
Why
That's
not
a
in
nice
your
title.
house or someplace else? Or even a different city entirely if you're looking to get away from Nathan.
It's simple, really. My home in Naden has a fairly decent study, but compared to a normal library, it's inferior. Naden's library is smaller than my study, if you can believe that, and I'd have to walk 3 hours there and back just to do anything in Ponyville. That's a quarter of a day. Second, other cities may come with better resources, yes, but Ponyville would put me closer to you. You're a fellow student, you run a library, and you're also suffering from these nightmares, meaning that Ponyville would make it most convenient for us.
Okay. But why stay with me?
Because frankly, I think you would be more willing to have a friend stay at your home for an extended period of time, provided of course he pays his dues, rather than a costly inn.
So, long story short, you're counting on me to be a nice and generous pony?
That's the gist of it, yes. Well, did I convince you?
Convincing would imply that I agreed reluctantly, and yes, your arguments have moved me to accept your request, but we would need to discuss payment and ground rules. I do live in the library, and I'll not have you treating it like a sty.
Implying I would ever think of ruining books. But yes, I agree. And
Or,
you
you
have my
know,
word
not
that
leaving
I
the
will live by
toilet
your
seat up.
rules whatever they are.
Whoa!
Something the matter?
Yes, actually. I just happened to notice that our bounty hunter from yesterday is sitting in the compartment next to us. And he's
So,
listening
like,
in on
realistic
every word.
horses here.
No, if he wanted to take me, he'd have done so much earlier. Which means he's obviously out to tail me, and I don't mind that. But so help me, if I even hear so much as a rumor of him coming to take me, or if I find out that he's been asking some funny questions to you, I'm going to make sure he gets returned to Canterlot on an express Pegasi ambulance. Have I made my point? Tap 3 times on the wall for yes. Good enough for me.
A soundproofing spell? And how did you know he was there?
My energy sensing. In this way, he won't be listening in on us until we arrive home. But still, that escalated quickly.
It did, didn't it? But speaking of keeping an eye on ponies, what about the princesses?
What about them?
Should we tell them what we're looking into?
Has Princess Celestia been any sort of help to you when you've asked? Because Luna has been most unhelpful to me. Everything I know of this, I've had to figure out for myself. So I think
yeah,
that
pretty much
outright lie
describing
to them.
this
That doesn't mean we need
student-teacher
to tell them what
relationship
we're doing.
here.
I don't think I can do that. I would never go against Princess Celestia.
How about this? You simply lodge me, and I do all the actual doing. That way, you're in no way at fault. Does this sound reasonable?
Do you even have a plan? This all sounds nice, but do you even have any idea where you're going with this?
As a matter of fact, yes and no. While it is true that we don't know who could be casting these dreams on us, we can still try to find out what that ruin in Error-Free Forest is and look into it. Perhaps that will give us some insight. Well, since you don't seem to have any more objections, and you haven't backed out, I look forward to working with you, Miss Sparkle.
And you as well, Nova.
What was he eating? To be continued, yeah.
Oh, how time flies before our very eyes. He has become a true gentleman.
This is pretty.
Our son has found his place. With courage he will face any enemy to protect Equestria.
Are these the Twilight parents?
To the captain of the guard.
Nice singing.
Now he is with his wife and became a prince of an empire fair and wide.
This is pretty. Now say what I tell you. Like, I can't finish that episode without her music, okay? Because her music never disappoints. Though I can assure you, you guys are going to love how really great pair turns out. The Dinky song.
We have to let her go
from the academy.
I'm gonna take a moment to listen to this.
To the town and upon the land.
You can't see, but my head's swaying here.
She has faced down any obstacle. With her friend, she will make a stand.
Here's Skypaw. Nice.
We knew that they were special, but didn't know they'd go this
Love and Hate, next episode. In spring, summer 2017. Thank you for not being specific like I am. Why do I have to be specific? I mean, month-wise. Why do I? Why do I? Yep.
I wish there was one more day.
And as well as watch Rent. Yeah, maybe I should do that at the end of the credits. The credits are pretty short, so.
Hey, Mom and Dad.
Sure to check out other audio. Yeah.
Before the moon starts to rise.
Thank you for watching.
The
rest of the song.
It wasn't meant to last. Oh, how time flies.
Wow. That was very pretty. Jot's Journal, Shadows of Equestria, Promise, Promise. I hadn't heard some of those. Should probably check them out. Alright, so. Yeah, I can say so far this series hasn't been very eventful. If you want me to be honest, True. Honest, True. Stupid puns. Okay. Like, in here there was a bit more, I think. Like, we had, I really loved Nightlight, and, being protected over Twilight and then confronting his friend there. And I kind of like Nova Shine's like, Twilight Sparkle, who's been listening to everything we said, and also the guy who's following him. like, have I made myself clear? Those were nice moments. Though most of it, I think, were, kind of information bombs. And just so much conversation and maybe not enough conflict. Like, that's my only real issue here. Like, script-wise, but let's see. I'd say the voice acting is pretty good. Like, we got Nova and Twilight. They have a good dynamic going for them. Who was playing Nightlight? Was that Turning? I'll have to check. Yeah, it didn't quite sound like Nightlight. I think you cast that. Did you cast that before the season 6 premiere or something? Yeah, I'll have to check. Didn't sound like Nightlight, but it was pretty good acting. Like, yeah, if you hurt my daughter, that was nice. So yeah, it looks like you're really going places with this, True, and yeah, every time you see those clips of Envy, I think you call it, the villain in a bottle, that's pretty much all I know. Like, I just want to know more. Like, I want to know more. Okay, so, yeah. This is why I don't chew gum that often, because then it feels rude. Anyway, so, True, I really hope you get better soon. Not just because I want episode 6 finished, but, you know, I want you to feel better. I want you to actually not feel like the room is spinning all the time. Alright, and thank you so much for everything you've done for my series, for your series. Yeah, your work ethic is just, it's incredible. Okay, so get better soon, and the rest of you, chill, please, chill, okay? And go support Truesailorcomet on her channel. Go watch her videos, subscribe to her, okay? Alright, Disney Fanatic 2364 out.